hoarseness, difficulty swallowing. I can't take it anymore.
The back of the larynx is thick, and her relative airway is small, so I think it's quite likely that she's got both esophageal and airway reflux.
So did you talk to your doctor about this?
I did mention it, and they said it was nothing definitive.
So was it treated at all?
No.
Well, I'm very happy that you got screened.
Me too. I'm very happy and delighted.
We're back with Christy, who recently learned she has many of the symptoms of silent reflux. And Dr. Kaufman gave her a preliminary exam, but decided that she needed some more follow-up. So, Dr. Kaufman, walk us through what you first saw when we were in the mall doing the free clinic, and then we'll move on to what you found in the follow-up.
The initial examination of the throat was very swollen, a tremendous amount of inflammation. She even has a small polyp, which is just due to the inflammation. And then when she came back, we did a better exam, and then subsequently an esophageal screening examination.
So if you can put that up, you can show it to everybody.
This is a normal larynx, and the normal larynx almost looks like a sleek greyhound, and this more looks like a bulldog. All the swelling. This is a normal vocal fold. The normal vocal fold is thin. It has straight separation. Each of these structures looks fine. On this side, you see this rather sausage-like, not even a sausage, a knockwurst-like fat vocal fold with none of the fine detail that you see on the other side. And then the back of the larynx normally is fairly sharp. But in Christy's case, you see this whole area is very, very thick. And that area represents nighttime reflux, and it's very, very preferential for that area to be swollen. And this we worry about as being potential for Barrett's esophagus or for precancer.
So, Christy, what does it feel to hear that diagnosis after spending half your life being told you had asthma?
It's a little scary, to be honest, but relieved in the same sense to know what's going on now and that I can receive proper treatment.
Sure. Let me show everyone something a little different. If you just put the next image up here, this is what that evolves into. That is esophageal cancer. See that red bleeding area? Sandra, that's what you had.
Yes.
So what was your score? If you had been given this test before you had any of this happen in your life, what would you have rated yourself? What number would you have given yourself?
At least a 25.
25?
At least.
So you had all the symptoms pretty much?
Yes.
What's your prognosis now?
My prognosis now is good. I'm cancer-free, thank goodness, thanks to Dr. Altorki. It still can be a challenge, day to day on trying to find the right foods to eat, healthy foods that are not acidic. Or I had the surgery. He was wonderful, my surgeon, but it's still a challenge.
So we're looking at bookends, right?
Yes.
Before and after. And everyone who's watching right now, it's your decision. Because I can tell you the medical field is still behind on this. But we want to get early into this game. And the real question, of course, is what can you do about it if your score is above 10? Because, Chris, you have all the telltale signs of reflux, and you had no idea what was happening, even with all the medical care that was being thrown your way. So, Dr. Kaufman, here's the real question. If you can find it in that early stage, can you cure it?
It's completely correctable. Almost everyone that we see starts out on medication and starts modifying their diet, avoiding the real trouble foods for them. And sure enough, at about a year, most of our patients graduate.
Your patients graduate.
They
That's
graduate.
a good thing. You go from F- to graduation. It's good. All right, when we come back, the prevention plan for Christy and for all of you. It's the best tool to prevent silent reflux before it ever starts.
Up next, the good news about silent reflux.
It can be prevented, even cured.
What you can do to lower your cancer risk.
You've got the rule of 4 C's.
This is what you want to avoid.
The plan to stop it before it starts. Coming up.
And they do represent the enzymes in our stomach. So here you've got this big vat of stomach fluids with this enzyme in it that these lobsters represent. And here's the esophagus with this netting, and then the throat's way up here. So the big insight is that when you have a lobster, one of those enzymes, being pushed up from the stomach because you lay down or maybe you have a little reflux, go ahead and grab one. I'll grab one too. They climb up here, and they hang on. And as they grab on there, have you been bitten by a lobster before?
No.
Not yet?
Not yet.
But you're an F
Don't
student.
plan to.
You're an F student, so... Oh, no, you just had an F throat. There we are. So these guys, they'll hold on like that. And the big breakthrough idea was that we always thought acid from the stomach came up and activated them. And you know what? That is true. If I grab a little bit of acid from here, this is just salt water, but in your stomach will be acid, and I pour them on these guys, they actually will enjoy that. They get activated. But here's the concept I want everyone to never forget. The acid from the stomach is only a part of the puzzle. The acid from your diet gets in there, and it changes the world completely for these guys. It takes them to a whole new level of pleasure. And what this acid does to these enzymes is activate them. And they begin to chew holes in the lining of your esophagus, in your throat, in your case, where your larynx is, where your vocal cords are, giving that raspy voice. So these are warning signs we don't want to ignore. And the question then becomes, how can we avoid some of this acid pouring down, turning on these enzymes? Curious?
Yes, I am.
Good. Let's go find out. Dr. Aviv and Dr. Kaufman have a plan for us. It's a 3-step prevention plan to stop this before it starts. So, Christy, your game plan obviously is to follow through with these 3 steps, like so many others who have silent reflux, and then we're just going to get the report cards from you over time. Dr. Aviv, take it away. Step number 1 is deacidifying the food in your diet. So how do we do that?
So there's hope. You want to get rid of the acid in your diet. What are we talking about? This is what you want to avoid. You want to avoid deep fried food. We have fries. We have fried chicken, it looks like. You also want to avoid chocolate and mint. Even well-known healthy foods, tomato, onion, should be avoided during this initial induction phase where you get rid of the acid in your diet.
The food you can replace it with.
This is the bad. We have the good. Banana, wonderful. Cantaloupe, anything green will deacidify. Almond milk, oats, oatmeal, all excellent foods. There's a lot of variety here that will get you to start healing.
And that induction time period, how many weeks is that?
We want 2 weeks. We would love 4 weeks. But 2 weeks, even within 2 weeks, studies have shown that the reflux symptom index, which we talked about earlier, that number can go from 10 down to 5 or less with just 14 days of getting rid of the bad and using the good.
So how much of a challenge would it be for you to do this for 2 weeks?
It would be a big challenge, but I'm up for it, knowing that it'll benefit me in the end.
Which of these bad foods are you putting in your mouth right these days? Are you a fried food junkie?
No, I'm a chocolate lover.
Chocolate? All right.
Yes.
We'll find an alternative for chocolate.
Okay.
So let's go over to the second category. Is all about beverages, the things that you're drinking. As I showed over there, they're a particular concern for me. And you've got the rule of 4 C's.
The 4 C's. Caffeinated beverages. In addition to the caffeine, citrus, carbonated beverages, including seltzer.
Ooh.
Everyone says, well, I don't drink soda. Only 3 bottles of seltzer a day. And then cocktails. Now, the issue with seltzer, people say, what's wrong with seltzer? Seltzer, it's great. It's clear. The bubbles, what happens? Air bubbles rise. The acid basically latches onto these bubbles. And as the bubbles rise, they explode over your throat.
This should be easier, I hope, than the chocolate.
Oh, yes.
Okay, come on over.
Much easier.
Dr. B, thank you very much. And finally, step 3 is all about canned foods. And Dr. Kaufman argues that canned foods ought to go in the trash can.
So the problem is even things that you think are healthy, many of the beverages that have health labels on them are also highly acidic to prolong shelf life and kill bacteria. And the same goes for things in bottles and cans like this. You'll find, for example, a lot of these have a citric acid, ascorbic acid, and I see one of them says vitamin C enriched or vitamin C enhanced, and it's not because they're trying to give you more vitamins. It's to increase the acidity to prolong the shelf life. So now we really see almost everything in a bottle or a can has the same acidity, in some cases more than stomach acid itself, making for very happy lobsters.
Make them happy. What's the hardest part about this for you? And first of all, I'm shocked by this. I did not realize that all canned foods pretty much had acidity in them. I gather you didn't know that either.
I did not.
Yeah. Is this going to be hard for you think?
It'll be a little difficult, but easier in the same sense. Easier than the chocolate.
So Dr. Kaufman, you kindly have agreed to take Christy under your wing and help her move from an F- to an A+ student. Will you give us feedback?
Absolutely.
All right. I'm looking forward to hearing your story.
Same here.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Sound Reflex, something you can take charge of. To learn more about how you can, be sure to check out DrOz.com. Everybody in our audience is going home with a copy of Dr. Kaufman's book, Dropping Acid, the Reflex Diet Cookbook. And sure. Hope you enjoy. Coming up, meet my super fans who are taking charge of their health. They're about to get inducted into the Dr. Oz Hall of Fame, and they've got a lot to share about how you can take charge of yours.
Up next, superfan secrets to stay young.
You were the common bond between us.
Making healthy eating fun.
Dr. Mom's smoothie ice puffs.
Plus, a hair treatment
Pulls all of the chlorine out of it.
you won't believe.